Did you know it's really common in a job interview to be asked a question about a time you have introduced a new process, a new strategy, a new technology? Welcome to video 17 in my 20-part AI feedback Q&A video series. In all these videos, we are going to follow the same simple process. We're going to look at a question based on a specific role at a specific company. We're going to quickly scan through that job description. Then I'm going to show my overview of the approach I'm going to take. I'm going to provide what I think is a very good answer, and then I'm going to run it on the back end through my AI tool and see how we can make a good answer even better. For the purpose of all these videos, yes, we are tackling a specific role at a specific company, but this is foundational. Any interview is probably going to ask you about implementing something new, so I want you to be prepared for this type of behavioral question. Let's dive in. So our behavioral question today is, tell me about a time when you introduced a new HR process, tool, or policy that made a significant impact. We are going to be looking at it through the lens of the role of a human resources business partner, commonly known as an HR BP. The company is NVIDIA, and then again, we're just going to scroll through this job description. I don't want to read through all of this. This probably is not a great use of our time, but I've pasted them all into these videos just for the purpose, if you did want to take a look at it, you can pause and look through this job description. I think that this is a little bit lengthy for a job description, in my opinion, as I continue to scroll through it. And I don't love all the wording and the way they've put it together, but this is the long job description. Then we get to the STAR method. So the STAR method is a great way to answer behavioral questions. We really just want to start with the context. So the overall context is really important, then really drive and spend most of our time talking through our actions, what and how we did, and then the results. What were those strong results of everything that we did? This is my overview. Again, if you want to pause the video to take a deeper dive, please do, and then we'll reference this at the very end of the video as well. So for flow, let's get back into the question. Tell me about a time when you introduced a new HR process, tool, or policy that made a significant impact. As a human resources partner, I was tasked with improving our employee performance evaluation process. I was responsible for redesigning the performance evaluation process to make it more effective and engaging for employees. The goal was to implement the new system within a 6-month timeline in time for our next evaluation cycle. I conducted a comprehensive analysis to start of the current evaluation process. This involved gathering feedback through surveys, reviewing process analytics, and benchmarking against industry best practices. The research phase started with identifying key pain points through anonymous employee surveys, followed by a review of our current process metrics, and ending with a comparative study of performance evaluation trends in leading tech companies. Next, I developed a preliminary redesign plan for the evaluation process. This plan aimed to incorporate automation, continuous feedback, and more personalized evaluation criteria. The approach began with outlining the objectives of the new system, identifying technology platforms that could support our goals, and creating a roadmap for development and implementation. I then held initial discussions with the stakeholders. This included department heads and a focus group of employees. The purpose was to gather input and build consensus around the proposed changes. These conversations were structured around presenting the preliminary plan, soliciting feedback, and adapting the approach based on the discussions to ensure alignment with company culture and goals. Then we went into the testing phase. We initiated pilot testing phase with a select group of employees and managers. This involved implementing the new system in a controlled environment, collecting data, and making adjustments based on that feedback. The testing phase also included training participants on the new system, monitoring their usage and feedback regularly, and conducting weekly review meetings to identify any issues or opportunities for improvement. And then after testing, we rolled out the full execution of the redesigned evaluation process. This step incorporated feedback from the testing phase, focused on collaboration with IT for system integration, and included risk management strategies. Execution also involved finalizing the technology platform setup, launching comprehensive training sessions for all employees, and establishing a support desk for ongoing questions and feedback. We officially launched the new performance evaluation program company-wide. This was communicated at an all-hands meeting, through email announcements, and through these training sessions. The launch emphasized the benefits of the new system, absolutely outlined how employees could engage with it, and highlighted the support structures that we had put in place. Lastly, I documented the outcomes and established a framework for continuous monitoring and optimization of the evaluation process. This involves setting up a feedback loop with employees, creating performance dashboards for managers, and scheduling regular review sessions to ensure the process remained relevant and effective. The results. The introduction of the new performance evaluation system directly addressed the initial challenge of creating a more engaging and reflective evaluation process. Post-implementation, we saw a 40% increase in employee satisfaction with the evaluation process and a 25% decrease in turnover rates. And lastly, significant improvements in the quality of the feedback exchange between employees and managers. Okay, that is a pretty good answer, pretty robust, pretty thorough. Let's see what my AI tool had to say and the feedback we got. So in the situation and task, state your company and in any additional context about your role and company. Okay, so I did mention HRBP, but I didn't mention my company in any additional context that might have helped a little bit. And then establish while stating the situation the size of the impact your role and control had on the success of the task. Yeah, so there wasn't a lot of information. I just kind of said, hey, here was the challenge and then the timeline to solve for it. So a little bit of additional data in the situation would have been really helpful specifically. Okay, and the actions. Remember to provide good depths when discussing how you did things. Yeah, so at the how stage of your actions, there's always some additional depth. We can always dive a little bit deeper in the how. We just want it to be how focused, so what we did and how we supported what we did. And then if you presented the results to leadership, this is another important action to consider discussing. So many roles are going to require presentation skills that if when you get to the end of that project, program, initiative, etc., talk about that presentation, really helpful to get them to picture you in the role. And then the results. Discuss the repeatability of your solution, making it clear how your process can be leveraged for other improvements. The value of repeatability at the end of an answer is really strong. We want to talk about why it had impact not only here, but in that greater, wider piece that you're not going to be able to see on this video. But we will always want to be thinking bigger. What was the bigger impact from a process, strategy, relationship perspective? And then just to go back to our trusty slide here, you can see in the situation and task, state your role and company with any pertinent details. So there's a little bit missing there. Yeah, so detail the launch presentation and documentation. So I didn't really detail this piece. So that was another piece. And then it wanted me to share those repeatable people, tech, and process results. I really hope this video helps. This is all a lead up to my AI global paid launch, which will be on February 26th. In the YouTube description, click that link if you have not become an early adopter. We are now officially giving a 30% for the first week of the paid tool for all early adopters. So make sure to sign up by clicking that link in the YouTube description below. Thanks so much.